Hello and welcome to, what should we call this? Pubcast Lite. We're not going to be here for very long, maybe half an hour at best, because there's only three of us tonight. There was due to be four. Jamie's unavailable this week. Stuart's unavailable. Stuart's up in Assin, I think. Was it Assin?
No, Glen Affric.
Oh, Glen Affric. Okay.
On acid.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Stuart's up in Glen Affric, and Jamie's, I don't know what Jamie's doing, some sort of, I think it's called work. I don't know what that is, but he's doing some sort of work thing, so he can make it. And Darren, unfortunately, had to drop out very last minute. So there's only three of us, so we thought I'm sure you don't want to hear us three. I mean, we're the worst three, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's be honest.
We're very poor value for money, aren't we?
Yeah. So we thought that we'd do a really quick one just to run through a few things, and then we'll come back next week. But we keep missing weeks, so we thought we'd better do something this week. So how are you guys? All right?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah, good.
Sam?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep, fine.
Anything to report this week that you want to share with the group?
I bought another camera.
No. Oh. Have you?
Yeah.
What you got?
I bought a little compact. I bought this lovely little pen, EPL9 for street work. It's so sexy. And
Very nice.
I've got it paired up with a little 20mm f1.7 prime. So I'm determined to branch out into more street work. And I was racking my brains as to who I could try and emulate. And I just don't know anybody that does street work that's worth emulating.
There's no one about. There's no one about anymore, Dave. All the good ones have stopped, I hear.
Yeah, I understand you have to do something alphabetical and peter out round about H.
Yeah, H. If you could only make it up to H, if you get past H, you've made it. But yeah, no. Is at the pen? Is that the one that Craig Roberts uses? Is that similar to that?
He did, yes, for a while. Yeah. I mean, this is an old one. I think it's a 2018 model. I was mucking about on eBay, and I picked it up for about 170 quid, which is at least 100 quid cheaper than it goes for on MPB. So I thought I'll have that.
When I muck about on eBay, I normally end up with like a bag of sweets or something, not a camera. You know? Oh, cool. Well, that's good. Nice new camera for a bit of street. Well, if you can find anyone worthy, Dave, of a bit of street photography, maybe you should think. You know, James Burns, I hear, is very good these days. I've been looking at his stuff. He's very good. I know we're talking like going off topic a bit, but James, his street work, his editing and his processing is almost identical to his. You can see it's a James Burns shot, regardless of whether it's up in a mountain or in the middle of Manchester. It's crazy.
Yeah, he is very good.
Yeah, very good, very good. What about you, Sam? What have you been up to?
I've been out a few times. Had a nice trip out yesterday. It was a bank holiday here in Scotland yesterday, so I had a day off work, which was nice. I managed to get out. Headed over to Lochmarie, recorded a video, had a nice little morning down there. And speaking of Olympuses, I finally got round to taking my OM1 out, the one which is normally sat here, because I've been having a fit of madness where I thought, you know what, I should do more film photography. So I thought I'd put a roll of film in it, and I took it out, and I headed over to Torridon with it, and I bought myself a shutter release for it, and I'm really annoyed because I took it out, I tried to do a 1 second exposure with it, and obviously it's just knackered because no one's used it for years. And I'd sort of pushed for shutter release, and it went ka-jump. And then about 5 minutes later, the shutter reopened again. So that's clearly no use. So I'm a bit annoyed about that because I was quite looking forward to getting some nice images. I've been slightly obsessed with looking at medium format film cameras lately, and it's one of those things which I don't know if I'll ever actually get around to doing.
What film stock did you use?
Attempt
to use.
It was it's the black and white Ilford stuff. I can't remember what it's called. HP5 or something, I think it is.
Okay.
Something like that. Obviously, my film knowledge is not great, but yeah, I was hoping to get a couple of black and white images with it. Fortunately, I took the R5 with me as well, so it wasn't a write-off of a morning. Oh, and I bumped into Mark as well. because this was the day after we recorded the Pubcast, and the first time I bumped into him actually over in Torridon, so that was quite funny actually.
He's like a bus, isn't he? You don't see him for ages, and then you see him twice in no time at all.
Yeah, I was quite upset to miss that one because obviously, you'd have to be deranged not to admire his work. So I was just going to fawn over him a bit, and so it was a pity I could. I must admit, though, to be fair, I thought last week's edit was a bit ropey here and there. Just saying.
Mate, honestly, we were talking about this a minute ago. It was so difficult to edit because Mark's line wasn't the best, and every time, or quite often, when someone was asking him a question, he'd be like, "Sorry, can you repeat that?" And I had to edit so much out. It was like the fact that we got anything coherent out of it is a miracle. So if you want to send, just literally, you should just send thanks for that. Really, £5-10 thanks for that edit. That'd be great. I'm only joking. By the way, Sam, the bank holiday yesterday, was it?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that Special Brew Day, is it? Or Tenants Day, is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's it's technically St Andrew's Day, but I think it's realistically it's Buckfast Day.
Oh, okay. Oh, that day. Okay, fair enough. I was just checking, being Scottish and all that.
Buckfast and Iron Brew.
Yeah, Iron Brew Day. That's the one. I remember now. Apologies to anyone Scottish. For it's not your fault.
But interestingly, I noticed that they still sort of observe all the English bank holidays as well.
No, we don't.
It's not an either or, is it?
No, it is. I don't get the English ones.
Do you not?
No. Well, at least not with the company I work for. I get Scottish ones and I don't get. So the August one I didn't get.
Is it a Scottish company?
No, this company's Swiss, but they depending on where you live, you get your depends on what they have to adhere to. So
I regularly visit a Scottish company and they're open 24/7, 365. McDonald's. They're always on. Anyway, look, let's move on before we we wrap up.
Is that not a half hour up? Can we go?
No,
now?
not yet. Sorry, Dave. No, sorry. We've got to go a little bit longer. Photo comp. How many inches, Dave?
I think we've got about just coming up on 50. I put the first batch on the website earlier this week, which I think got up to number 38. Okay. And we've had some very interesting contributions so far. I'll be honest. Obviously, not everybody can win it. It goes without saying. But I have to say that I always find it absolutely fascinating to look at other people's photography. And when you have a competition, what you're getting is what people consider their best work of late, I guess. I don't think we specified that it had to be taken this year, which we did last year. But nevertheless, there's some, as usual, some very high quality entries. But I do find even those that may well not feature at the sharp end, it's still interesting to see what people are up to.
Definitely. And on that, if you haven't entered yet and you want to, please do, because if like Dave says, if for nothing else, even if you don't win, it'd be great to share your work. We'd love to see your work, and they all go on the website. So we'll put the website details up and afterwards, and everyone can view your work and have maybe come back in here and comment on it or whatever. But I find it fascinating, and it's kind of like if everyone shares their own work, it can inspire other people to do stuff that they may not have thought. Because there's probably a lot of people out there who do. I haven't seen any of the images yet, but there's probably a lot of people out there who do stuff that's very different and probably very inspiring. So please keep them coming. You've got until the 15th, so you've still got a couple of weeks to get them in. So get them in, and we'll be announcing the winners. But also, like last year, we went through quite a few, didn't we? We didn't just talk about the winning ones. We probably about 15, 20, 30 images that we discussed. So,
we did have to curtail certain members of the group from just banging through the entire submission.
Who would that be? I can't think. I'm just trying to be nice. Okay, right. Also, first, Daz is not here, and he was really who I was aiming this at. But it's the 1st of December. You guys playing Whamageddon this year?
No, never do.
Sam, are you playing Whamageddon this year?
Am I playing Whamageddon this year? Inadvertently, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've not lost it yet.
No, I haven't lost it yet either. Although my wife's out already, literally out already. So my daughter plays it and my wife plays it. And my daughter went, I love Last Christmas and I really want to listen to it before the 1st of December. So she literally listened to it about 4 times on Spotify using Alexa last night. Wife comes downstairs this morning, Alexa, play Spotify, still on there. So she's killed herself. She's knocked herself out already. So she's dead. If you guys play it, I don't know if you know what it is or not. It's basically you've got to try and avoid Last Christmas by Wham between now and Christmas Eve, like 12 o'clock on Christmas. Well, 11:59 p.m. on Christmas Eve. And if you can, then you win. If you can't, then you're out. But if you do play it, if you go out, let us know, because it's always fascinating, to find out how people go out. A few years back, I got knocked out in a curry house. I mean, what curry house ever plays Last Christmas by Wham? They never play any English music in curry houses. But I got knocked out, so that way. So yeah, let us know. Now, here's another thing. Has anybody watched any podcasts lately? Or listened to, or anything? Has anybody watched or listened to any podcasts lately, Dave or Sam?
I listened to a good, generous 7 or 8 minutes of one.
Did you?
Which I thought was quite reasonable.
Okay, Sam, have you watched any or listened to any recently?
Yes. Oh, there was one on photography, wasn't there, on YouTube? It was quite an interesting one. It had a nice jingle at the start of it.
This is what we were getting to. This is what I was getting to. This podcast that I listened to a bit of the other day had a jingle, and it wasn't like an epidemic. By the way, Epidemic Sound. I'll talk about them another time. They've gone up. Their prices have gone up by 50%. Epidemic Sound, shocking. Anyway, it wasn't like an Epidemic Sound jingle or a pre-made jingle. This was an actual jingle they'd written themselves, and I was like, I like this. This. I mean. Yeah, it was interesting. So basically, the reason I'm asking this is, guys, I want you guys out there to write us a jingle, because we've been 4 years now. We've been going 4 years, and we got no jingles going on. So we need a jingle. So I don't want you just to write the words of the jingle. I want you to sing the jingle or play the jingle. If you're a musician, sing it, play it, send it in. I'll put my email address in. You can send it to me, and then we'll play them out so everyone can listen to them. So this is your chance to have be a piece of the podcast. Write a jingle for us.
What we need is a very small Dennis Waterman to write the theme tune, to sing the theme tune.
Sing the theme tune, write the theme tune. Yeah, so please do. I mean, Sam's offered already, but he's a bit too professional. We want something a bit more, sort of raw.
Plus,
we don't want no.
Mine will come out as some kind of depressing emo post-rock thing. So
yeah, we don't want anything like that. We don't Pubcast. We want it to be uplifting, and just be real. If you want to say the fat guy who presents is an idiot, that's fine. Just whatever. It won't offend Darren too much. Anyway, so yes, we'd like that. What else have I got on here before we
can't pay any royalties for?
No, we can't. I mean, we could probably work something out, couldn't we? The jingle winner. I mean, if you're a winner of the jingle,
there'll be a prize.
Yeah. What would a prize be, Sam? What would it be? You've offered it now. What's it going to be, Sam?
I don't know. I was hoping Dave would help me out with that.
No, I'm leaving you hanging.
I was just going to throw you under the bus.
Yeah. I tell you what we'll do, right? To the winner of the prize, the winner of the best jingle, you get these what are they called, where you get famous people to come and record you a message. Yeah, we'll get Jamie to sing you a Cheeky Girl song and send it to you via video. So that'll be your prize.
Wearing hot pants.
Yeah, wearing hot pants. Only hot pants. That'll be all the women. Dear. All the women now. All the women watching will be sending in jingles left, right, and centre.
I'm just thinking about it, actually, Sam. You make a good point about prize giveaways, because I've been turning down about at least 2 a month over the last 6 months, review opportunities. And thinking about it, I should have accepted them so that we'd have one of these prize walls where I'll have that dodgy looking tripod over on the left, or
yes,
do you know what I mean? But yeah. I haven't got much, so kind of what I've got is all that's available. There won't be much of a selection.
Actually, funnily enough, I've got something that I can offer as a prize at some point. I've got this. It's a K&F dual camera. What are they called? What are these things called?
Trail camera.
Trail camera, that's it.
Yep.
A dual camera trail camera system, which I've got a review. So I'll give that away as a prize.
Ah, okay. Because I said to them, try my mate Gary, included. He might be interested.
Did they? Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that for basically all of the invites I get.
Yeah. What,
you send them on to Gary?
Say Gary might be
I tell them to go and check out Gary, yeah.
Yeah, he's the biggest tart on the Pubcast.
Funny you should say that, because I've also got a ho-hem
a what?
thing to look at as well.
A ho-hum?
That says ho-hem.
You've got to review it and say, this is a ho-hum whatever.
Yeah, I've also got that to do as well. I mean, I haven't put out a video for 6 months, but when I do, I mean, it's going to be
Gear channel. Is that your new gear channel?
Literally, I've got so much. I'm also doing one for Biera Moretti. No, I'm not. So
you
yeah,
wish.
Yes, but we'll work out a prize. We'll work out a prize for you if you can send in a really good jingle. So moving on, let's talk about some comments from last week. Now, Dave, you weren't here last week, but have you read the comments?
I have. I thought they were extremely well informed.
They were, weren't they? They certainly were.
Especially Lynn. Lynn had something to say that I felt she picked up the cudgel to counter your position.
Funny you should mention that, Dave, because actually I was just about to mention Lynn myself. So Lynn and someone called AD437, they disagreed with what we were saying about honeypot locations. And the thing I wanted to pull out of that was not necessarily about the disagreeing, because everyone's totally entitled to their opinion. It is being entitled to your opinion and being what the podcast is about. So I think AD actually mentioned, and in it, that he's been a long time listener, and podcasts and things like this are supposed to provoke a discussion or a debate, and that's what we're here for, isn't it? So we welcome comments that don't always necessarily align with our own, and we do it here, don't we? We don't always agree with each other, but the point of it is that grown-up conversational, grown-up debate means that you can have two differing views but not fall out and resort to personal insults. So we love it, don't we? I mean, you guys love a bit of argument, don't you?
What are you trying to say?
Dave.
Well, I agreed entirely with Lynn, but then I would.
Did you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I tried to get her on this week, by the way, Dave, but she's busy.
I thought your argument was entirely specious and that Lynn hit the nail on the head, and she humiliated you royally.
And Sam was the same. Don't just have a go at me. Sam had the same idea.
Well, no, I did raise the point in the episode that it's going to these locations is good for understanding composition, especially when you're learning. It's it's understanding what makes those images work. But yeah, so we did make that point. But yeah, no,
I think it's fair to say though. I mean, and it's when you're getting to grips with photography and you're just finding your feet. If you have a specific honeypot location where you've got a series of images that are comparable in many ways, it gives you an instant benchmark that you otherwise wouldn't get. And so you can then immediately compare what you're able to achieve with what you've seen and then go, well, am I happy that I'm now on a par? Have I still got work to do? Have I progressed beyond that? But because it's a specific location, it's a specific composition, whatever it may be, a lone tree. As a learning exercise, it's incredibly valuable because there isn't any other benchmark that you could set yourself that reduces the subjectivity to the same extent. I think, it's easy for us to be a bit long in the tooth and say, oh, well, we've seen all we need to see of all these honeypot locations. And I don't think many of us who've been doing it as long as us would disagree with that position. But as I say, there are for every one of us, there's probably 10 people that have only been doing photography for a year, a couple of years, whatever.
Yeah,
and
true.
I think a lot of people, I know of people that have just sort of fallen by the wayside. They've become discouraged almost as a result of people with our level of experience looking down on them a little bit and saying, oh, well, you don't want to be shooting this, you don't want to be shooting that. And at that stage of learning, having something against which to measure your own photography is incredibly valuable. And for that reason, and every now and then somebody pitches up with not a lot of experience and some basic equipment, but is treated to some amazing conditions and comes up with a winning shot that we would all aspire to, even though we're really long in the tooth.
Mm. Mm. And I would say, I did express a similar opinion regarding going out first time and learning, and it's good to get inspiration from going to these places. And like you say, if you can't find anything, certainly I couldn't when I first started locally. I did go to these sort of more tick box honeypot locations, but I think from my point of view, I would say like just have a balance. Don't just I think Mark said someone might go drive 2 hours to somewhere and drive past 20 locations that were fantastic to get to one because they know that one. Just look around you, I think is the thing. Have a bit of a balance between the two. I won't stop going to places that are really popular. I enjoy shooting those on occasion, but equally have a little look around you as well.
I think there's another flip side to it as well, is that when you're first starting out and you want to go to these locations, and most of us do that. There's certainly nothing wrong with doing that. I did it, but the slightly flip side of that is that when you're going to a location that is well photographed, and you don't get it in the, you're going there because you've seen so many amazing photographs of it, and then you don't get the photograph as good as that because the conditions aren't right, it can be discouraging. So I think another thing to bear in mind when you're doing it is A, it's useful to go to them to learn why the compositions work, but B, don't get discouraged if you come home and your photographs don't match up to these amazing shots that you've seen from the place, because you have to bear in mind that it's been photographed a million times before in a million different types of condition, and trying to replicate that exactly is never going to work. Particularly, you might be lucky and get stunning conditions, but don't let it don't let that become a downer on you if you can't replicate those images. It's not a reflection of your photography skill. It's just photography is about making the most of conditions as and when they happen. And if you're lucky enough,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, if you're lucky for that to happen in a great location, then that's the part of the key to
Of course,
success.
there is another upside. What you can do is, if you go to a certain competition website and copy everything there and put it in next year, you'll probably win every category because they don't check. I understand.
Yeah, not going there again this week. But I did see that there was an apology of sorts posted on Instagram and Facebook, with the comments turned off on Facebook, interestingly, which was almost, well, for me, I said we're not going there. Fuck it, it's going.
You just have.
But, yeah, exactly. But for me, it was a bit like, oh, please keep spending your money on my.
Well, that was the thing I noticed, that obviously the comments were turned off. That struck me as strange. But also there was no mention of refunds. And I think that the specific people affected, the very least they should expect is a full refund, because without that, the apology is, just words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm
totally
going to be
agree,
entering it next year because no one else will be, so I might actually win.
First place.
So you can get your own book printed up for free, isn't it? But they still won't send you a copy.
Or put all of your pictures in there.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
First place, Sam. Second place, Sam. Third place, Sam. Oh,
unfortunately, you're not in the book.
Yeah. Well, I thought what I I thought I'd just take the same image and just crop it slightly differently.
Good idea. Good idea. I hear there's a wall somewhere that's very popular for that.
I hear there's a person you can hire to stand in front of that wall. They get 1 gig a year.
Oh dear. They don't even get a book out of it either, Dave. Shocking. Actually, while we're on the subject of honeypots, very quickly, Michael Clark sent a message in or posted a comment on our Facebook page, link below if you want to see our Facebook page. Something bits go on there occasionally, saying that he took a shot at Shingle Street because I said that I didn't like Shingle Street and it was just a load of gravel. And Michael, it's a fantastic image of Shingle Street. It really is a really But all I'm going to say is look at the sky. Seriously, take that sky out, right? And you've just got a house with some gravel and a pond. That's it. So that's all I'm saying. But it is a fantastic shot. And if you're not following the Facebook page, then follow the Facebook page and you can have a look at Michael's it's a very, very good shot. But the sky is spectacular, which I did say.
I would have taken issue with you had I been on last week. And since this is something of an annex to last week's, I'll have my say now.
Go for it.
The first time I encountered Shingle Street, because it's the opposite side of the country to me, and I'd never really given it much thought, was I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Simon Booth. Now Simon is based in the Northwest, and he's one of these guys who'll do woodland photography and name every fern and mushroom, and he'll identify all the bird calls. And he was at Shingle Street. I think it was Simon. I might be wrong. I'm happy to be corrected. And I watched that and I thought, what an absolutely outstanding location. Simply because somebody of his caliber was able to get some really intriguing photographs with such, on the face of it, basic location. And I think it's reasonable to say that if you're not very good, then it is just some shingle. But if you're a good photographer, you can create some amazing work. Have a look at his video, see what I mean.
I was also going to step in and say I've seen some stunning shots from Shingle Street as well. So in fact, I think did Owen
when
Clark
the sky's good. When the sky's good, Sam.
No.
When the sky's good.
No, nice minimal black and white shots of the gravel. I think I'm fairly certain I've seen Owen Clark do a video from there, which was fantastic, and I'm pretty sure they had there was a nice shot which they had on the cover of Outdoor Photography of Shingle Street too, which I liked. It's that sort of minimal black and white.
Exactly. The thing is, though, Simon Booth is capable of making a puddle in a salt marsh look interesting. There's a location near where my folks live, and it's on the southern side of the Ribble Estuary, and you park up near a pub called the Dolphin, which is down a dead-end lane. You walk over a dike and there's this expansive salt marsh. I've been there with my camera, scratched my head and just walked away and thought, I can't do anything with this. Simon Booth did a video from there and I was, right, I've got to go back and give it another go because he was able to do something outstanding with that. So there you go.
I'm not having it with Shingle Street, though, I'm sorry. You might as well just go B&Q. Go to B&Q, get yourself a big lump of gravel and go, sure. Yeah, sorry. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I know that's a great shot for Michael Clark. I'm sure that Simon Booth and Owen Clark do. Unless Michael Clark is related to Owen Clark, of course, they could be, dad and son. He might be stealing his work. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sure that's all very relevant, but I'm sticking to my guns with Shingle Street. Yes, shithole. I just wait for the comments. I don't care. I just wait for the comments. This is what we're talking about, Good bit of debate. Shingle Street is awful. Shingle Street is awful. Defend it. Defend it in the comments. Defend it.
But there's a few locations like that, like West Wittering Beach, for example, which was near where I used to live. Which when you go there, it's horrible. Sorry, I know lots of people love West Wittering Beach, but sorry, I'm used to the Highlands of Scotland, and I never liked it down there. But I've seen some absolutely stunning shots from there. In the hands of the right photographer, the right sort of image.
Okay.
They can just make these places work, and they just look amazing. So.
What I would really like is for somebody to put in a Shingle Street image in the competition so I can give it P1.
Well, that one, Michael, if you want to enter the competition, we'll know it's you. I mean, it is a fantastic shot. I'm looking at it now. That's why I'm just looking over onto my other monitor. It is a fantastic shot, but it's just the sky's so good. I'm sorry. It's just, like anywhere that's sort of very, anywhere in East Anglia, essentially, that isn't woodland, that's sort of seascape, like Hunstanton or Wells or whatever. If you've got a big sky, yeah, great. But if you don't, then obviously if you can get a good shot, then you're a better photographer than I am. Sure, there's millions out there, but sorry, just no, Shingle Street, no. I mean, and also, part of the Shingle Street issue for me is, well, I won't want to be walking on that. Jesus, walking on those things. Oh, no, thank you very much. That would be, my calves. I just feel my calves tightening thinking about walking on that. No, absolutely not. Sorry, where was I? Comments anyway. Should we move on to some other comments? What I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Oh, William 7847. William 7847. He says Borrowdale Mill. Apparently, the people who own Borrowdale Mill are going to try to stop access for photographers getting onto there. So, Sam, your secret mill may well retain its secrecy for some while to come, because photographers won't be allowed on there anymore.
Good. I'm bored of photos.
One of my favourite places, by the way, Sam.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, one of my favourite places. If you can get a good shot there, you're a good photographer. Just put it on.
I think maybe what it is. So my father-in-law owns a watermill, so I'm a bit blasé about watermills.
Yeah. My father-in-law owns a Mini, but I still appreciate them.
Oh no, everyone loves a Mini.
Yeah. He had to go with that deal from, by the way, thanks a lot, by the way, everyone, for getting back to me on the camera. I stuck it out there, no one was interested. I got it in the ear. He's had to go for the MPB deal now. So he's sold his camera and all that gear for $2,000. $2,000.
Wow.
Cost him $4,000. Shocking. And they tried to, well, I'm not going to say, I don't want to libel myself, but they tried to tell him that he was out of his period of for accepting the offer when he wasn't, and then tried to knock more money off it. But he argued it back and ended up getting it, so he was all right. But yeah, shocking. Anyway, more comments. I got a lot of stick for Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green. I said he was Pink Floyd.
I must admit, I didn't want to interrupt you halfway through the recording, but I was thinking there wasn't a Peter Green in Pink Floyd when you were saying it.
No, it was Fleetwood Mac. Someone in the comments, I can't remember who it was, said, you should know that, someone of your age. I was like, I was about 7 when they were in their heyday. I'm like, come on. I mean, I know I'm old, but I'm not that old. Like, what is it? The Chain and Go Your Own Way and all that. We're in the 70s. In the 70s, I was 8 at most, 8 at best.
Well, so, plus the fact he wasn't in the band when those songs were being written. Well, he'd already left.
There you go. See, and that's my excuse as well. So I'm sorry for getting that wrong.
I mean, he's kind of the equivalent of Pete Best, or the bloke who was in the Police who wouldn't dye his hair blonde, but nobody knows who his name is.
Why didn't I say Pete Best in the Stones? That could have caused a whole other thing. I should have just said that. I didn't think it through. So yes, sorry about that. Yes, Peter Green was in Fleetwood Mac. Still don't think I look like him.
Or that John Mozart bloke who didn't bother writing any concertos.
Because he'd had an ear chopped off, didn't he?
That's the one.
With the ear chopped off and went deaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a fight.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yes, so, and one more thing before we go.
Cool. It's a good job we don't do comments every week. We would do bugger all else.
Well, there's loads of comments I could have picked up on, but there was another one from Justin Crane, and he was talking about... I think a couple of people, Sheila Foster Hancock, has also liked Stuart's little fleece. Did you see that, Dave? His little
Oh, yeah, he's kind of onesie thing. I'm sure it's actually got legs and feet included. You just can't see them.
Yeah, probably. Poor sheep. Justin said that was he evoking his spirit animal by wearing that, and I thought I was kind of hoping there'd be more of us here, but I thought we could talk about what our spirit animals might be. Dave, what's your spirit animal?
Raccoon.
What? Any reason? Just
they're really cute. They're resourceful. They're fun. They do very well for themselves despite all manner of difficulties. They're quite bright. I saw a clip this week of some raccoons that triggered a house external light as they went past. And they just stood there like this, like, you ain't seen me. I thought that was really clever. I like raccoons. I think they're fun.
Okay, Sam, what about you?
Probably a border collie. Something like that.
Swivel-eyed all over the place.
Just sort of doe-eyed and loving.
Yeah. They have really bad internet as well.
Yeah.
Border collies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking for mine it might be something like a shark or a lion, but realistically it's probably a sloth. I think a sloth. A sloth probably fits. You know what I was doing today, right? For some reason.
The thing with a sloth, you wouldn't have to slow down the footage, would you?
Exactly. Yeah, I'd save. Imagine all that extra frame rate I'd save. Do you know what I was doing today? I mean, why do people do this? I don't know. Why did I do it? I don't know. I was Googling I was trying to Google the intelligence of a guinea pig compared to what age in a human. Because they say like dogs are equivalent to about a 2-year-old intelligence-wise, aren't they?
News to me, but go on.
Guinea pigs.
Yeah, so I was wondering if...
Well, guinea pigs are one of the least intelligent pets you can have, I think. Mine were
gormless as hell.
I just wondered. It's just the other, I don't know. I've got a guinea pig. I just wondered how intelligent it was. I just thought it might be taking the piss out of me without me realising.
I don't think
it probably is.
Well, I feel on their level now. So we must remember this for next week, though. Spirit animals, because sloth, raccoon, border collie. Can we not get those? The Snapchat filters. Like we could each be one of those next week for the thing. Probably work. Might not work. We're going down a hole now. I mean, where we 43 minutes. 43 minutes. I mean, it's not going to be 43 minutes, but we've been talking. How have we dragged 43 minutes out of this, Dave?
To be fair, I mean, when you've edited out the crap, we've got about 3 minutes, so it's going to be quite brief.
Yeah, it will be. It will be very brief. So I don't think we need to talk about any. We don't need to talk about any topics this week, do we? We'll just.
No. We'll save it until we've got some interesting people on.
No. Yeah. So we'll say. I think we'll say right. Keep getting your photos in. We really want a jingle. I mean, that I'm desperate for jingle. So please.
That's normally Darren's job.
Yeah, well, there must be someone out there who's capable of writing us a jingle. There must be. So we'll want at least one jingle, and if not, Sam, that's your job. And yeah, I mean, thank you for watching us this week. Bit of a weird one.
Yeah, sorry.
We can only apologise, but we should be back. Should be back next week.
I mean, the thing is, the comments are going to be full of, well, you see these three boys, they're completely propped up by the others, because without the others, they're completely disinteresting.
Yeah. It's the chemistry, Dave. We were talking about this off air when we were talking about other podcasts. It's about chemistry, isn't it? We've got good chemistry when we're all here, and obviously the three of us just don't really get on, do we?
No, not in the slightest.
Especially when one of us is 5 seconds behind everyone else.
Yeah. Mentally? Is that me or is that
no,
you
that's
physically?
Me.
I can't quite work out. All right, okay. Thank you for watching. We're sorry it's not the full compliment, but we thought we want to get something out to you. You know, otherwise it'll be another week along that you wouldn't have something. So thank you very much for watching anyway. Photos, jingles, keep comments coming in. We really appreciate it and reread all of them, even though Dave doesn't watch the podcast back. He does read the comments apparently. And we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.